Hello, welcome to my digital project. This presentation will briefly explore and review key techniques associated with students' motivation. The term of autonomy support in education was first introduced in 1981 by Henry Holleck. Autonomy support styles involve creating relationships that nurture a student's intrinsic motivation by creating an environment where they learn because they want to learn, not just because they want better grades. Leslie Dickinson in 1994, in her book Toolkit for Preparing and Orienting Learners, states, autonomy is a situation in which learners is totally responsible for all the decisions concerned with the learning and the implementation of those decisions. This technique helps instructors to realign students' inner motivation by providing ongoing cognitive support for autonomy during the learning task, and by scaffolding students to be independent in problem solving. It helps prompt students to monitor and evaluate their own work and encourage them to collaborate, asking questions, and sharing ideas. Students of autonomy supportive instructors display more positive learning behaviors and achieve better outcomes than the students of controlling teachers. As John Stolk explained in his TED Talk, Tools addresses the physical needs moving from theoretical to practical. Choice allows the cognitive development by promoting critical thinking, decision-making, utilizing problem-based learning. Trust encourages interaction of emotions and feelings. The autonomy supportive motivational styles work best when the instructor identifies, appreciates, and vitalizes the student's inner motivational resources. To achieve this, the instructor must incorporate some important techniques. Listen carefully, be responsive to students' input, prepare the lesson from a student's point of view, incorporate students' input into the lesson plan and in the ongoing flow of the instruction, conduct formative assessment of a student's input, suggestions, and improvements. The lesson becomes about providing content and involving psychological needs. How to involve autonomy. Become aware of and integrate into instructions the student interests, goals, and preferences so that they say, I want to. How to involve competences. Challenge the student. Can you do it? Can you do it better than before? And then providing guidance and strategies they need to meet that challenge. How to involve relatedness. Put the students together in a face-to-face interaction, for example, sharing their work, sharing their answers, to give them the chance to relate to another and share with a peer. An instructor request might generate negative affect or resistance, and yes, these feelings are valid and legitimate reactions. The instructor should invite suggestions to transform it into positive affect while still fulfilling the instructor's request. Acknowledge by saying, I see that you're not very enthusiastic about today's lesson. Accept by saying, yes, we have practiced this same skill many times before, haven't we? Welcome ideas by saying, okay, so what might we do differently this time? Any suggestions? Help a student to understand why self-regulation of the activity will have a personal benefit. Explanation helps students to transform or internalize something that is not worth doing into something that is worthy of their time, attention, and effort. Verbal and non-verbal communication provide choices to students to find ways to align their classroom activity with the instructor's goal and their own inner motivation. The instructor can use invitational language to help students to get started on a task. The idea is to encourage the students to start their task on their own will. Help students to reflect and solve their own problem, as in, I notice that you have not been improving. Do you know why that might be? Do you know how to make a better progress? Give the student the opportunity to experiment, to go in their own direction, to work at their own pace, and to rely on their own natural rhythm. Do watch, listen, be responsive, provide help, and, if asked, do not tell or show the student the answers or the correct behaviors, and then make them copy you. The instructors who apply autonomy supportive style obtain a greater confidence of intrinsic instructional goals. and they can build in themselves a greater sense of teaching effectiveness. A downside is that it requires time to build a robust library of activities ready for students to choose from. However, the technique will have a positive impact on students' motivation if they feel competent, autonomous, and able to relate to others during the activity at hand. The challenge will be for the students to accept responsibilities for their own learning. This presentation focuses on autonomy supportive style that helps instructors to nurture student intrinsic motivation. The sources for selecting relevant literature were from Google Scholar.